What is good, everybody? It's a quick download. How you feeling on this beautiful Tuesday today? Taco Tuesdaze, or whenever you happen to land on this download. Yeah, definitely follow It's the Track Addict. Yes, sir. I love having music around all the time. It just keeps me energized. Okay. All right. So, how's everybody feeling once again? And welcome back to another episode of No Filter, the realest show, hands down. I just wanted to touch bases with everybody to see if they checked out my last video. In my last video, I gave you guys all the key to your freedom. I gave you guys all the keys that you need to unshackle yourself from your self-imposed prison. Now, that was an experiment God wanted me to give everyone because that information has been out. But it was an experiment to see who was going to provide that information first to help the world, the collective, instead of hoarding that information or just waiting until it materializes to show people. God wants me to be the vessel to show people that you must believe in the unseen to get miracles. I believe that's the best way to say it. Hence, she wanted me to tell you about setting yourselves free from this jurisdiction. And I don't hear many people talking about it. Confirmation, bitches. I don't hear many people talking about it at all. So guys, like, go ahead. You're here to save the world anyways. You and a lot of other the collective. Confirmation, bitches. So you might as well speak your piece. You're a god. You found out who you are. You went through hell and back. You believed in unseen. And now you have tangible proof of the evidence of my love and my eternal protection over you, Alonzo, don't you? And I have to agree with her. Tiamat, yes. Mother. She's always here to watch over her loved ones once you know who she is. So I gave you the keys, and now we're going to see who's going to actually free themselves. Because I don't want to hear nobody bitching. Oh, you have the information. Now it's up to you to take the actual footsteps and go through the process without waiting for someone to be your meal ticket or a handout. That's why guys like, this is a perfect experiment. Alonzo, you're not going to be the handout. You've already received your cosmic anointing. You already received your unlimited wealth. That's why everyone's threatened and wanting to knock you off your throne, but that can't happen. Nobody's going to threaten you ever again. And if they do, we're going to visit them in their sleep. I was like, perfect. So I'm so protected. Don't have to worry about no sideways shit. People's like, oh, if you're depressed, why are you doing? I'm happy. Just to let everyone know that may want to say I'm a crash out or whatever the case is. I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. I know who I am. I am debt free. I made my own brand. I have people following me because I'm valuable and I'm authentic and I'm real and I'm walking in God's light. And I just got on the scene and I have this much attention because I'm being real. And it's a easy distinction of who's a false leader and who's the real leaders. And you notice how I said leaders, because I don't even like using this word leader, chosen one. I don't like it because it makes me feel like I don't like titles. I really don't, because I still have a viewpoint of everyone's equal. So when I say I'm talking about unity and then I'm talking about chosen one, it's like I'm talking in oxymorons right here. I believe we're all chosen. We're all the same level. We're all made by God. So we are all the same. It just depends on when you have your grand rising, what idol are you going to worship or what master are you going to worship? Because God says you can't worship two masters. You can't have your foot in and your foot out. You're either going to be fully committed or not committed. This whole world was made to be simple. Very simple. It's like everything boils down to like two options. It's like you do or you don't. right? You serve God or you don't. You work with the planet or you don't. You either tell the truth or you don't. You get what I'm saying? You either go to your job to get money to pay your bills or you don't. You either take the advice I gave you yesterday about freeing yourself from this jurisdiction for profit or you don't. See how everything just boils down to two choices? That's as simple as I can put it. That's as simple as God puts it. Now, if you really want to change in your life, let's see the action. We're not going to be hearing all this no more. Because trust me, I've watched so many people when I was in a stage of not knowing who I was, still having an ego, which I still have now, but the ego is in more control of the driver's seat than I am now. I'm working on balancing everything out, the light wolf and the dark wolf. So I was at a stage 2 looking at people that were successful, thank you, Spirit, and I would be griping and hating on them. I was like, fuck that shit. Why the fuck they there and I'm not? I've been doing all this shit and they're fucking there. Looks like they just came up. They just got there every fucking night. That was my perspective at that time. I felt warranted to have that anger. I looked at my current surroundings and family members that were doing stuff, but whatever the case was, I made my own definition and reasoning for my hatred towards that person versus looking or taking that same energy and directing it inwards and saying, why am I this upset at that individual? Why? Then I have to analyze, okay, well, instead of getting up early and working on myself, I chose to sleep in because last night I partied all night. My decision, my fault, no one else's. So I'm not going to get mad at that person. He didn't force me to stay up all night in the car and smoke weed all night or to go chase ass. Hey, can you come over? Well, you live an hour away. Well, his draws, I'm there. And then the next day I got to go to work, but I'm fucking until like 6 in the morning. Then I got to be at work at 8, shower real quick, and then go to work. Half tired. I'm like, at least I got some ass. That was me. So everything boils down to your decisions you make in life. It's no one else's fault. If you want to drink all your life and do podcasts and talk to people like you're a chosen one, and then admit that you're drinking, and then you think people are going to still have the full-fledged faith in you, you're sadly mistaken. Even though I just watched your last video, I resonate with a lot of that, but I'm still going to give people jewels. People can call me all day because that's what God does, but I get you. Not everything's going to be for free. Okay, if I have to take my personal time like I'm doing now, then there may be some times where people get charged just to keep the business afloat and stuff. You know, I really don't like charging, but God's showing me there's steps to it. I like the birds out there signifying some royalty shit. So God's let me know that money is involved. It's just don't use the money the way a lot of people use it once they come up and everyone else is not where they're at. They use it however they use it. But I want you to use it, Alonzo, for the planet so people can understand that there was no such thing as money. There was only resources, and resources got manipulated by people that saw the value in it and flipped the purpose of that item for their own personal benefits. And insidiously, they came up with a plan to charge people for the resource that is naturally produced from this planet. Hence, they sell us water bottles and stuff. That is a natural element. If they could sell us air, they would, or they do, air conditioning and so forth. So everything is ass backwards. Hence, God compelled me to do the message early this AM, so we can start seeing people free themselves versus waiting for something outside of themselves to free them. We are everything. The God, the devil, reptilians, everything lies within us. The insects, the trees, everything we come from. Stardust, we're all of that. Once we realize we're all of that, then we can tap into our powers and understand what our purpose is during this lifetime on this planet. If your soul feels like if you have a lot of heavy resentment in your stomach area when you get up daily and you just feel like you're uneasy or something's pulling at you, your soul is like nudging you that you should be doing something different than what you're currently doing, that's a heavy inclination from the divine that you are not on the right path and you should be doing what your instinct is telling you to do, which we like to call follow the God voice, or AKA layman's terms, your first instinct. We are all designed to be able to maneuver and to adapt to this planet. For instance, when you go swimming, don't your hands get prunish, right? Meaning, like, our bodies are made to adapt to all of the elements. I was about to say besides winter, but I don't want to go all deep like that. Our bodies are made to adapt to all the elements, even winter. It just takes a little bit more improvising with winter. Hence, you need to get more layers to keep warm and so forth. But this planet was naturally all tropic. It's all sunlight. It was hence our carbon melanated skin, because it was nothing but sun. Until the invasion happened. So for Sub-Zero technology, if you want to know more about that, follow Rashad Jamal, University of Cosmic Intelligence, or go to YouTube and look up Remember Who We Are. Remember, you spell remember how you spell remember, REMEMBER, who, WHO, you as in, not you as in YOU, it'll be remember who, you, just the letter U, but I think that's repeated twice. It's like remember who you are, ARE. And there's 2 eye emojis on her profile name when you look her up on TikTok. If you are so inclined to do so, I highly recommend you follow both of those gods and goddesses to truly understand what's going on, because I'm a student of life, and I realize I'm not right about everything, which I firmly stand on that foundation. I don't know shit until I'm told, because every day, every moment, I think I know something. Thank you, Chosen 144. You think you know something, and then the very next moment, God reminds us very humbly that we don't know shit until God lets us know what she wants us to know. Why are you always saying she and him? I'm learning every day. This M on my hand means mother. There's no F. Remember who we are. There's no F. Okay, there's only M, means mother. Okay, this planet was originally ran by all women, hence the Council of Nine, if you know, you know. And women could self-procreate on their own. They didn't need men. When the Anunnaki came down here, they saw that ability in the women and they got jealous. They wanted some of that motion. I'm borrowing your words. Remember who we are. See how you give credit? I watched your live stream yesterday and I got this information. I was like, teach me what I need to do. And she was telling me how Mother Earth, that they now call Earth, was originally called Tiamat. It still is Tiamat, which is the mother of all. And Tiamat ruled everything. And then they started working with the Anunnaki and the Arturians and the Greys, and they made a deal to exchange technology to manipulate this planet, to force women to have. I highly recommend you go to Remember Who We Are's channel and Rashad Jamal's. I don't want to butcher any of this origin story because I'm learning this as we speak now. But in a Cliff Notes version, this planet that we're living on now is Tiamat. And it was ran by all women that could self-procreate on their own with no sex involved. We were not made to have sex at first. And supposedly the Anunnaki wanted some of the emotion from the women, and they forced the women to have sex with them. Hence, you see that underlying setting in all the movies, how men are always forcefully taking advantage of women, which I never like seeing that. And then they romanticize it to make it feel like it's normal. Remember a few videos back, a few months ago, it's like all the Hollywood scenes, they're like shoving, punching each other, and then the next moment they're making passionate love. And then our own brains is confused of what we're seeing, because when you see somebody in an aggressive state, we all have that mode of fight or flight. If you get scared, you run. It's like fight or flight, meaning like those are emotions within all of us. If you get in a tension situation, you either are so tense that you're have your anxiety riled up where you're ready to fight and defend your character and so forth, or you get so riled up that you allow fear to creep in, and you take flight, you run from that scenario. Hence our self-preservation, to keep your vessel in safe environments at all time. Hence we have these feelings, our gut right here. Self-preservation, first instinct, the God voice, to always help us navigate. Our hair stand up on our back and our arms, that's letting us know something's going on. We need to be aware, and you need to stop right now and take a quick analyzation of what's going on now. Because in Mother Nature, we don't have too much time, because you know how the Discovery Channel is always doing videos and documents on how prey and the predator, how they operate in Mother Nature, how the cougar is always waiting and crouching down low and watching the gazelles move or the zebras move, oblivious to the fact that there's a cougar or a panther waiting just in the brush, and all you see is the eyes, like an alligator does. An alligator just hovers right on the water, blending in with the leaves and all the Mother Nature elements that's on top of the water, and the alligator just coasts slowly, just looking for his prey or her prey. And then where was I getting with that? So if you see how nature operates with animals, it's the same way how like the Anunnaki, some of our Anunnaki was bad, and they made deals with the Greys and so forth for technology to keep this planet trapped within this light code so we can't evolve. But when I say we can't evolve, we're Anunnakis. So we came here so we can leave, but they can't. I know that may sound confusing and like, who can? I thought you're... So if you're inquisitive, I highly recommend, before I mislead people on the origin of this planet's story, go follow Rashad Jamal and remember who we are on TikTok. And look up both of them on all platforms. I think Rashad Jamal is available on all platforms: TikTok, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube. And as I know, I've only seen, because I didn't do my further research on this, I've only seen Remember Who We Are on TikTok, on live. And she drops so much jewels, it just makes me feel stupid. But I like being a student of life, because when you realize you don't know as much as you think you know, it's like, okay, all right, bet. Let me learn from this person. So that's where we're at with that. I do want unity. I want to work with everybody. But on the road up, it gets lonely. And having a God heart, you want to help everybody, you have empathy. The hard reality is you can't help everybody out. So hence my experiment this AM was to provide everybody a key so they can free themselves, so they can hopefully break that algorithm and that umbilical cord that a lot of us like to attach to people for codependency when we don't do our own self-development shadow work to find out what we're capable of within our own selves. We are looking towards the next person for validation or leadership due to the fact that we didn't study ourselves thoroughly enough to find out that we are everything we need ourselves to be as is. But due to indoctrination and insecurities and fears on other people, even our own parents and friends, a lot of that can seep in, and we can allow that to form an identity that can be so concrete-ish, meaning it can form so thick and solid that we feel like we're stuck and we can't move like a building that has been cemented unless destroyed, or, I was about to say demolition, but you know what I mean, unless if a building's destroyed or demolished, that's the word I'm looking for. That is the only way it can be broken down to be rebuilt, or broken down so something new can be built. So those are stages we all go through in our life of self-development. We could subconsciously be doing that because we're reflecting somebody else that may be wiser than us. Like I said, wiser than older. I don't like using that old word. Then our brain starts operating like we are following that program. Everything we say is a program. Remember that. So be very careful of what you put into your programming, your CPU. Good, we're still recording 20 minutes in. So we encounter people that are wiser, and we may study those wiser people. Thank you, Spirit, keep me on point. And we may think, since they're wiser, that they know it all. So we're just going to emulate them because they have lasted so long in this journey of life, that they must know it. That is a very natural thing to do as well. And that can be a very dominant pattern for a lot of us, due to the fact a lot of us as children, correct me if I'm wrong, don't really ask too much questions when it comes to our elders. We just see they're wiser than us and they have the stern discipline within their instructions or so forth. We just follow suit. I mean, we're just children learning. We don't have that experience yet to even, I guess, know or even have the mental mind frame or the mental mind capacity or understanding of life to even know to ask our parents a question. You know what I mean? We don't have enough experience in life to even sit there and ask them, so why do you think this is the right course of action, if you know what I mean? So like a lot of that developing our personalities is not our fault, especially at the early stages of life, because we're so innocent. We're just following suit. We're following instructions. So I'm not beating up anybody from their beginning stages of life. That's unfair, period. If you know, you know of the powers of indoctrination. They say it takes 7 years for indoctrination to really set in. And if anyone doesn't know what indoctrination is indoctrination is a form of it's a form of conditioning, and it's a form of conditioning the human mind to follow certain rules of engagement, to operate within a social construct that was built in order for, I hate to be redundant here, but in order for order to exist within a certain boundary that was constructed for society to operate in safely but soundly, due to a operator that saw this picture and saw this design first, because everything's a thought, hence the power of imagination before it becomes tangible. So someone must have thought about this mode of operation to keep society flowing, hence traffic lights, crosswalks, news channels, radios for communication, housing, roads, airplanes, medicines, schooling, meditation. You get what I'm saying? Is like these are all things, actions that exist. But if it wasn't due to the fact to organization, then there would be chaos. So God's the grand architect, if I'm saying that right. So God put together a formula for this planet to operate cohesively with each other. So everything flows in synergy and there's no resistance. And that's how this world was originally. Everything was just flowing in unison. The waters were untainted, pure to drink out of. The seeds were clean, no extra foreign chemicals were injected in God's natural plan of operation and so forth. That's how this planet was originally. Now, since all these chemtrails and poisoning and non-processed foods and so forth, and petroleum they're putting in medicines, not even medicines, just placebos, whatever, big pharma, the foods, FDA, everything is not good for us. It's 25 minutes in. Okay, I'm getting a little loopy, and I want to end this download. My main mission for this download was to get a temperature read to see if anyone actually took if anyone actually took action, a serious action, into the last video's information that I provided everybody, which was the key to getting out of this corporation that we call the United States of America for profit, only for the central banks. If you stay within this jurisdiction, the government is your parents. They're going to control all your money, and they're going to make you double, quadruple pay for items that already have been paid for, since you gave them your signature on that document. If you were buying a car or a house, whatever you were putting your signature on, you gave that business authorization for them to go in your treasury, Federal Reserve, and take out that portion for whatever you wanted to buy or a hospital bill. It was paid for behind the scenes, and then they're charging you and me every month for a house bill, for the mortgage, or for a cell phone bill, electricity, the whole 9 yards. Every bill that you've ever paid for has already been paid for. So the information I gave you is a way to get out that jurisdiction, get your money back that you put in all these bills, and you'll get your money back by getting in the right jurisdiction, which is the Republic of Common Law. The original Constitution that was set up before it was manipulated after the Revolutionary War and so forth. United States versus England, yada yada. Do your research. Know the origin of everything, please. So you won't just listen to me and other people. You can actually say, all right, Lons, you're bullshit. That is not true. You leave that in the comments. Oh, shit. I stand corrected. Okay, I'm not going to get out here and tell you some bullshit to mislead you. Trust me, I came way too far to give you some lies so I can go back in karma. Fuck that. I'm here at the mountaintop now. It feels great up in this bitch with my collective. So, with the information I gave you, you can get out of the jurisdiction of manipulation. You get the proper... Once you get back into the original Constitution, which is the Republic of the Common Law, then you get back your rights as an American. I forgot the term because you're not called a citizen. You're part of the Republic. You are your own banker. You control all your bills. You can write negotiable instruments. You can clear all your debts off. Get all the money you put into the IRS. The whole 9 yards. That's your true reparations. I had my passions on the right prize. Like 2020, like fuck that. We need to stop working, shut down the system. I'm on the right path. And I said, I want our reparations, which I still do for all of us, 40 acres and a mule, but I was approaching it wrong. I don't even want to say I was approaching it wrong because knowledge is power. I didn't have that knowledge at the time, or I did, but I was too lazy to go into it, so I figured I could just go Killmonger style with it and just get all the people that know this is our country and this and that, and we're the true kings, goddesses, and just get our shit back from the Vatican, underneath the Gaza Strip in Israel, all that shit, the technology they can't use, just get that shit back. And then have the planet ran the way it was supposed to be. But now there's another approach to operating smarter than harder, which is becoming a private banker, a secured party creditor. That's the last time I'm going to bring that up. Matthew reduced the price to $160, the PS4 to $500. Yeah, I'm looking for a PS4 or PS5. I'm going to get that bitch. So that was a Facebook Marketplace notification. So yeah, that's the last time I'm going to bring up the key to freedom. Now it's up to you to see how really bad you want to get out this. Or if you're just going to sit there and bitch, even though you have the key right in front of you. You're handcuffed, the key's right in your palm, but you're like, I don't want to uncuff myself. I don't want to turn my wrist like this. No, it's too much work. I'd rather just stay stuck. I'm used to it. Don't be like one of those used to it people. You're going to regret it. Now I separated myself from the men. This separates the men from the boys. There's so many people with so much money and this knowledge that could have given it to you, but they don't. You got to ask yourself why. Then you got to ask yourself why is an ex-homeless person with no shirt that seems to crash out a lot and whatever labels you put on me is giving me some actual real information. And then you check my track record about UFOs, the Jabberwocky, all that stuff. Alonzo's been right. How the Jabberwocky turned people from humans to transhumans, and now the government's going to hit you. What they're doing now is like, you're not human. Your rights are taken. Fuck you. What the hell are you talking about? Did you take the Jabberwocky? Yeah, I did. Well, the mRNA changed your DNA structure. I say you're no longer human. You're transhuman now, so you don't have human rights. Sorry for you. Even though you took the lottery tickets and all the free meals and stuff for taking a free shot, I mean, we okie doked you. Now what you gonna do? That's where you're at. And I was 2020. I was like, don't do it, don't do it. Something, don't do it. That seemed. I'm not even going back there. That's over and done with. Even my own family members, I say, hey, you know what I mean? I'm not just sitting there talking like I was unscathed by that. I told a lot of my family members that are no longer here about that shit. So I'm eating it too. So anyone sitting at different telling, why is he talking about it? He didn't. Yeah, I've had family members. I stopped. I didn't stop shit. I attempted to stop by providing information and outlets to sources they can research on their own. But the fear frequency got them. The talking heads and everybody's forced. You can't come to work. You got kids. You got to do all that. They know what they're doing. They're masters of psychology. They're masters of indoctrination. So they know exactly what they're doing. But people like me, Rashad Jamal, Remember Who You Are, Light, Cosmic Warrior, Chosen 144, and all of the people that are actually working for God know what time it is. And they have that compelling in their soul. I have to spread this information. I don't care how many feathers or ruffles. I don't care how many times I get cussed out. I used to like this person. Fuck you, Alonzo. Don't ever talk about Oprah Winfrey. I would talk about that joint all day because I know what she's behind. And I have the resource to do it. Why? Oh, shit. I kind of fucked that up. Why are you bashing people? I'm not bashing people. I'm telling people. I'm exposing people. I'm glad I didn't end this video right now. Let's get this right. I don't gossip. I don't bash people. I expose people that do trafficking. That is in Hollywood. That is manipulating our youth. Manipulating people like you and me every day. Falsifying them under the pretext that is talent that they're searching for. But it's soul harvesting. And then once you get in the club, the eyes wide shut club, then you have to sign some paperwork saying, okay, we're going to give you everything you want in this world, but you have to not talk about X, Y, Z. Every politician or any product that we want you to promote, you will promote it happily. You'll read the script, you'll promote it. You'll do X, Y, Z in order to maintain this lifestyle. And then you just lost yourself. You sold your soul for a few riches that shit, you don't even know how long those riches last for. And that's the secret that Hollywood has too. They give you the world, but they don't give you your expiration date. God gives you something that lasts forever. We're not even supposed to be focusing on this tangible stuff right here because this is just, you can't take this with you. You know what you can take with you though? The love of God and the belief in God. So once you do transition from this plane to the next plane, you know where your soul is supposed to go versus being confused and you listen to something else, which is a